Hey everyone, I'm Melea from Freebies to Deals. Hi, thanks for coming. Okay, so we are going to be talking about all things Disney, and I thought I'd try something new and do this live Google Hangout for you guys so we can get live questions answered, questions that you've left on the blog, on Facebook, Instagram. I've gotten a ton. So that's what we're going to do today, okay? So if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the chat if you're watching live, and I will get to those first. And if not, then I will just take all the questions that you guys have sent over the last week, and we'll get going. This whole purpose is, the reason I did this is because there were so many of you asking me questions about Disneyland, about Disney World, Disney Cruises, how to save money, all those types of things, and I just thought, let's just do a video because I could spend all this time writing it out in a blog post, but that wouldn't be fun for you guys to read. And you might want to just skip through and only see the parts that pertain to you. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, I will tell you exactly where to go and all that jazz. So you can just skip to the parts that you want to see. Okay, so let's get started. The first question that we have is actually from Lori. Lori asked, when going around Halloween time, how does the Disney Halloween party work? Do you pay an additional entrance fee or be done at 4? Is it worth the extra money? Okay, so if you guys can't tell, I'm wearing orange just for this video because I'm going to be talking a lot about the Disney Mickey's Halloween party.
Hey,
it is
everyone,
by far the coolest
Deals.
thing ever. So cool.
Hi, thanks for
So,
coming.
okay, wait, hold on. I'm
Okay,
having
so
an
we are
issue.
gonna be talking
Let me
about all
close
things
this.
Disney.
Something is going wrong.
And I thought I'd try something new and do.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, we're good now. Okay, so Disneyland at Halloween time is awesome. Okay, you have to go. It is so cool. Okay, the Mickey's Halloween party is a totally separate ticket. So you'll pay about $65 to $70 to go. They open the park to the Mickey's Halloween people who have that special ticket around 5 or 6 o'clock, if I remember correctly. So you can go in at 5 or 6 o'clock. They kick everyone else out of the park. If you don't have that special wristband that they give you when you walk in, no go. You don't get to go. So it's really, really cool. Okay, so we are also, I'm sorry, I keep having people come in, and I told you guys I'm new. So make sure that you mute your microphones. If you haven't yet, make sure you mute. So that way I don't hear you, and you can just hear everything I'm talking about. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes? Sorry, guys, I'm so new to this. Leave a comment if you know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and that I've totally messed up. Okay, so we're still talking about Disneyland. At Mickey's Halloween time. Guys, this is so cool. Okay, so you're going to go in, you're going to get a wristband. As soon as you walk in, they're going to give you a trick-or-treat bag. They're going to give you a special, map that has all the places that you can trick-or-treat. It's super cool. And then you get to go around, and this is when all of the villains come out. It is so much fun. Last year we actually saw the stepsisters from Cinderella and the evil stepmother. It was so cool. I've never seen them before. So you get to see all the villains come out. You get to take pictures with them. They have spooky Halloween music. They have their own fireworks show just for the Mickey's Halloween party. They have their own parades that they do twice. And this is the time that you literally get to walk on all the rides. Now, this only works if you go when it's not UEA weekend, okay? So if it's UEA weekend for some state and everyone's there for their vacation, then yeah, you might have a wait in the park. But last year we actually gave all of our fast passes away to another family as we were leaving the park because it saved, we just didn't need them. We just totally didn't need them. So yes, it is worth the extra money. And to answer your question, Lori, you will have to pay the additional entrance fee, and it's totally worth the money. Okay. Again, if you guys have questions, feel free to leave them in chat. And if not, then I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so the next thing we're going to ask is from Nadia. And Nadia asked a really good question. She said, how old do kids need to be in order to take on rides? My baby's only 4 months old, but I can't wait to bring him to Disney. We were totally the same way. Your kids as infants can go on rides, and they can go on a ton of rides. I've taken both of my kids as infants because everything just kind of worked out that way. I took a 4-month-old and I took a 9-month-old, which is very young, but it was actually really good because they weren't really mobile, so they got to go on the rides with us. So you could take them on Pirates of the Caribbean, you can take them on Toy Story rides, anything that's not a roller coaster or has a height requirement, you can take them on as a lap rider. So yeah, for sure, if you have older kids, you might as well take them. They're free anyway. And there's also the stroller pass. I don't know if they exactly call it the stroller pass anymore, but basically if you and your husband want to go on a ride but you have little babies that are too small or little kids that are too small, you can do like a ride swap. So basically, half of your party goes, you get a special little pass, and then you can go. So that is the best way to do it. Okay, we have a lot more people joining, so make sure that you mute. So I don't hear you, and you guys can listen unless you guys want to talk to me. Okay, so we're also going to ask more questions. We have another question from, okay, food. Oh, park food. Everyone wants to know about park food. Okay, so I think it's Nicole. She asked, we go a lot as well, so I know a lot about Disneyland, but I'd like you to share any places you've come across for less expensive in the park food. We always have intentions of saving money and eating outside of the park, but then are having so much fun we don't want to leave to eat. Okay, totally know what you're talking about. I feel the same way. I think the food at Disney is so good. I actually really look forward to it. I plan where we're going to eat, what snacks we're going to get, because I just think the food's so good. The food is the #1 concern for most families when going to any of the Disney parks. So there's a few ways you can save. The first way is to do mini snacks throughout the day and just do a big dinner at the end. So instead of, you can buy little things at the park that don't cost very much money, and then at the end you can do a meal inside or outside and do whatever you want. So that's one way you can save. I know a lot of families who do that. The other thing you can do is go to the Anaheim Convention Center website, Convention Center or Visitor Center. I think it's Visitor Center. And you can actually download coupons for a ton of restaurants in Anaheim. And some of those coupons are actually valid at the boardwalk. So, not the boardwalk, why am I saying that? Disney Downtown. Sorry, Downtown Disney. So places like Rainforest Cafe you'll find a coupon for, and some of the other restaurants there. So if you do want to save a little bit of money, that will help you. If you get the entertainment book, they have coupons for places in Anaheim that you can eat, so I would try that too. The other thing that I would do is, well, a lot of people have said that they actually get hotels with a kitchenette or a mini kitchen so they can make or eat meals at the hotel and then leave afterwards and do some meals in the park, some meals at home. Some people even bring crock pots to do those types of meals and have it cooking all day while they're gone, so you could do that too. And a lot of people actually choose their hotels based on if they have a free breakfast and if they have one of those free appetizers or, you know, after early evening kind of snack things. So that's another way you can do it. One more way you can save money is to actually book a character meal for breakfast or lunch, but actually pick the very, very last lunch time because it costs less money, but have it be like an early dinner. So maybe you pick like a 3:30 lunch, and you get to eat lunch at the lunch prices, but it kind of ties you over through dinner, and then maybe you just have a snack later that night. So there's a lot of weird things like that you can do that will save you money. So hopefully that helps you guys. I know a lot of people bring in their own food. There's lockers outside the park, and you can just go outside to eat. But like I said, the Disney food is so much fun. So at least pick a few meals inside the park you're going to eat inside the park and save money for. You can always have your kids earn money for those special things, those food, the souvenirs, things like that. So, okay, so I just got another question. This is a live question, so she gets precedence. Yay. Kirsten asks, hi, cute girl. Just wondered if you had a great place to buy the toys and stuff outside of the park for a lower cost. Yes, I totally do. Okay. Last year I did a video, and you guys can go back on the YouTube page for Freebies to Deals. It's about how to make your trip extra special. It talked about all the toys that I found at Disneyland that were at Target for like tons left. I think it was 50% less for the same exact thing. So that is really, really awesome, and I would definitely look ahead of time. If you have room in a carry-on, I like to do something called the Disney Fairies. So I leave little surprises for my kids in the hotel right before we leave, and that they don't see, and they don't see until they come back. So when we come back, the room's all clean. They get a little present or surprise from Disney Fairies, and it kind of ties them over from actually wanting to, sorry, hold on. It actually helps them. So they don't want to get things in the park as much because they're getting cool things every night. I've done pajamas before that are Mickey or Minnie Mouse theme or Sophia the First or whatever your kid likes. But I've been able to get those super cheap at Walmart ahead of time for I think about $6 instead of trying to buy something at the park. So that's one thing that I've done. You can buy things when you're there if you're close enough or if you have a car. They have a Target there, they have a Walmart there that has tons of paraphernalia. It's Disney thing that you can buy, but a lot of people don't want to leave or waste their Disney time to go buy that stuff. So if you have room in your carry-on, I'd buy it ahead of time. Dollar store has tons of stuff. The dollar spot at Target has tons of stuff, so I would do that for sure as well. Okay, hope that answered your question. If you guys have more questions, feel free to add them in the chat like Kristen did. All right, so another question. Kristen asked, she wonders if it's cheaper to find hotels, airfare, and tickets on our own, or is it best to go through Getaway Today or another travel planner? This is a really good question. I know you guys know that I am like crazy when it comes to trying to find the best deal. So the thing that I would recommend is actually going through Getaway Today. And I know that's crazy, but every single time we have booked a trip through Disneyland, I have actually spent so much time going through Expedia, going through travel sites, going through Disney, finding every single possible deal I could find and trying to like package it together and get a great deal out of it. And then I'll go to Getaway's website and they already have everything put together and it's better price. So after I did that 3 times, I thought, okay, this is wasting my time. So I'm just going to go through Getaway Today. And they're awesome. The thing I like about Getaway Today that I haven't noticed with other travel agencies is they actually call you during your trip to make sure everything's going okay. And if it's not okay, they're going to help you fix it. I love that because no one wants to get a call after the fact saying, how was your trip? And you can say, oh, it was awful. Well, we can't do anything about it now because your trip's over. But if they call you during your trip and actually ask you, how's it going? What can we do to help? What can we do to make it better? I love that, and I love companies to take care of you. That's why I like Getaway Today too. Not to mention the free stuff they throw in. They'll give you links to coupons you can use on food, so that's another way you can save. And then they also do your backpacks. They give you the ESPN card, the Zone card that your husband would probably really like to go to eat, to watch some sports while you're there at Disney. We got $80 in free arcade play while we were there that my kids absolutely loved. So you can use those cards that they send you too. It'll just give you something fun to do that's not actually in Disneyland. So there's little freebies they add in too, so that's why I really like Getaway Today. And if you guys are booking through Getaway Today, make sure that you use the code freebies to deals, or they'll send you and they'll give you extra money off your trip, which I think a little bit helps, right? Okay, cool. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, the other question I had was about City Pass, and I can't find it right now. A lot of people ask me if the City Pass really was the cheapest way to go for Disneyland tickets. This is what I'm going to say about City Pass. So City Pass will actually give you a 3-day park hopper to Disneyland. It will give you a 1-day ticket to Universal and a 1-day ticket to San Diego SeaWorld. Okay, now that is for $331, and that's a great deal. If you were going to exactly do the 3-day pass and the 1-day to Universal and SeaWorld, for sure that is your best deal. Because if you bought them separately, you would be way over that price. But just to give you an idea, the Disneyland 3-day park hopper is $254 for an adult right now. And it's September 5th. I know prices go up in the summer every year, so next year the prices might go up if you're watching this later. But so that'll save you a big amount of money. If you're going to go to Disneyland more than 3 days, less than 3 days, it's not worth it for you to do the City Pass. So that's what I would say. The City Pass can definitely save you money if you are going to drive down to San Diego and if you're going to do Universal. Okay. The next question that I have is from Naomi. Naomi asks, is there any way to save on character meals, and what is the best character meal to go to? I love character meals. I try to do them every single time we go because it is one of the best ways to see a ton of characters without having to stand in line, and you get really good food. So the only way you can really save on character meals is if you usually go through like a travel agency like Getaway Today or somewhere else. They're not tons cheaper. I think they're only like $5 to $6 cheaper, but it adds up if you have lots of kids in your group that's going. So ages 3 to 9 pay for a kid's ticket, but if you have kids under 3, they don't even cost any money. So don't let that deter you if you think you have to pay for your little ones. You don't. They have to be at least 3. So these are your your options for Disneyland. You have Surf's Up, you have Minnie and Friends, you have Chip and Dale's Critter Breakfast. Those are all called regular character dining, so they're only $33 and $17. But if you're going to go for the premium dining, that's Goofy's Kitchen and Ariel's Grotto. It's $44 and $22. So obviously you see like a huge jump there. Goofy's Kitchen is awesome. It really is. And we go there I think almost every time because they have this huge crazy buffet with like peanut butter and jelly pizza, which I think is crazy because you'd never think to eat that, but the kids love it. And Goofy's there. The thing I like about the character dining is that the characters come to every single table. You don't have to go chase them down. They come to you. You can take your time with them. You can take pictures with them. It's really cool. And for all of you who have little girls who love the princesses, Ariel's Grotto is pretty cool. I didn't like the food as much as I liked the food at Goofy's Kitchen, but if you have little girls who love princesses, every princess comes to the table. And you get like one-on-one time with Ariel when you first walk in. So it's really cool, and it might be worth that money if you're going to spend money in the park on food anyway. You might as well get some time with the characters. Okay, so I'm not seeing the next question that I wanted to talk about, but I did want to talk about getting into the park and orders for rides and not standing in line. That seems to be a lot of everyone's big concerns. Riding in the lines is just crazy, okay? So if you go at the wrong time, if you get there late, let me just tell you what I do, and then you guys can maybe go off of that. We get up first thing in the morning. We don't sleep in. We get there right when the park opens, which sometimes is really early. I think the park opens at 7 a.m. some days, which means we have to be in line by like 6:15 or 6:30. Totally crazy. But we're usually those crazy people that are first line in like the lines that give you the backpack where they check your backpacks. We're usually the first ones in line there. And then we hurry and get in the real lines. And we've actually been asked to be the people that count down and open up the park because we've been first in line, which has been really cool. So if that's something that your family wants to do, I would make sure you're there first and then maybe ask one of the cast members, hey, do you guys have anyone? We'd really love to be the people who help you count down, because that would be a cool thing that doesn't happen very often. So I would try for that. So we are very first in line. I'm going to talk about Disneyland first because that is the one that we know like the back of our hand. We go to Disneyland, we go straight to Fantasyland. And the reason why is, for all of you who don't know, there are no fast passes like there are at Disney World. So you can't just go to Peter Pan or Dumbo and get a fast pass. You have to stand in line, and the lines at Peter Pan are ridiculous all day long. So what we do is we go straight to Peter Pan. By the time we're getting off the rides at Peter Pan, the line is crazy long, and then we head over to Dumbo. No one's in line yet, so we go to Dumbo. By the time we get off Dumbo, the line's starting to get long, and we kind of just make our way through Fantasyland that way, and we're always ahead of the crowds. If you guys have watched some of my other YouTube videos about Disneyland, you'll notice that no one's ever really on the rides with us. That's because we're standing there very first, and we really do make our kids and our family get up that early. And most of the time your kids are up that early anyway because they're so excited to be at Disneyland, so no one's sleeping. You might as well just go and have some fun. So that's what we do. After Fantasyland, we run over to Tomorrowland. That's when we do the Space Mountain. That's when we do Star Tours. That's when we get fast passes for those to come back later. By the time we're done with those, that's about time that Disneyland opens up the rest of the park. So that's when we go over to Indiana Jones, and there's no line there because they just opened it. So we're kind of ahead of the crowd the whole way through. So if you're going to come on our group trip in October, feel free to just follow me if you want. I have no problem with that, or you can just ask me questions about as far as which rides to go on first or not. We've been a ton in the last few years, and it just works every single time we go, no matter how busy it is, no matter what time of year. It works all the time. The one thing that we do, and I would recommend this to every family with little kids, we leave the park around probably 11 or 12. I know that sounds crazy, but when the park opens at 7, you've been there for 4 hours, you've gone on almost all of the rides you want to go on, you have fast passes for later, your kids have been up super early, it's really a great idea to go back to your hotel and let them take a nap. So we go back, we all take a nap. I even take a nap because I need some energy at Disneyland too with all the walking and my kids and not getting any sleep at the hotel. So we all take naps. We get up around 4-ish, and then we start heading back to the park. Sometimes we'll hit dinner at Downtown Disney beforehand so we can save some money with some coupons I talked about earlier. Sometimes we'll do that, and as we're going into the park, I cannot tell you how many people are coming out of the park with their crying kids, and they just look, they look wrecked. because they've been there all day long. Our kids are refreshed. They have had a nap. They're fed. They're excited. So that's when we go back around 5 or 6, and we get to do all the parades that they do. We get to use all the fast passes we have. So it's just a great way to kind of make it work a little bit better for you. We get to watch the fireworks show, and then we head back, and then we do it again the next day. So that's what we do for Disneyland. The thing that we do for the actual California Adventure is okay, let me start with this. We want to talk about hotels really fast. I know I'm talking really fast and talking about a lot of things, but I'm just so excited about Disney. We have stayed at tons of hotels in the Disney Anaheim area. So anything from Disney, like super value properties, we've stayed at Disney properties. We've done it all to kind of figure out which things we like the best. There's pros and cons to all of them. Obviously, price is a big one. But the thing that I do love about staying at any of the Disney properties, which is the Grand California, Disneyland, or Paradise Pier, is that you get an hour early into the park, and you can only get that hour early if you actually stay at a Disneyland hotel. So that makes all the difference, especially for cars. And I can't tell you how big of a difference it makes. So Cars Ride, when it first opens, again, yeah, we're first in line. So we walk super fast. We go to Cars. We stay to the right. They're going to put up a big rope, make you walk behind a rope. Stay to the right. As soon as you get down to the Cars Ride, they're still funneling you to the right. So make sure you stay that way, or you're going to get really pushed far behind the line. And you can go on the ride. Now, there's also, you'll be first on. It'll take a few minutes. You can go on the ride. You'll come back off. One thing you can do is do the single rider line any time of the day, and you'll be able to get on the ride within 5 or 10 minutes, even when the wait time is like 2 hours. They have 3 seats and 3 seats, so a lot of people don't come in groups of 6, so there's always an extra seat. So if you don't mind going by yourself and your kid doesn't mind going by themselves, if they're older, that would be a really great way to go. And sometimes if there's 2 of you, they'll let you go 2 at a time and kind of just push on when there's like a party of 4. So that really helps too. Okay, so we do Cars first. We do Cars. We do that floating ride, Luigi's Tires, I think is what it's called. We do that too because that line gets long. By the time we're done with that, we actually go all the way over to the Toy Story Mania ride because, again, in Disneyland there are no fast passes. So that is right about the time they open that up for the rest of the park, and that's about the time when everyone else who isn't staying at a Disney resort gets to come into the park too. So then we get to the front of the line for that one as well, and then kind of work our way around. The rest of the things that California Adventure you want to get fast passes to, Screamin', Soar in California, all of those rides that you get fast passes for, I totally would. And then you can just kind of pick and choose what you want to do. Aerial ride, you never need to wait for that, so don't worry about it. You can go on it, walk on any time of the day, so don't worry about that ride if your daughter is really excited about that one. So that's what we do. One of the other questions that I've got is about prices. How much should we budget for a Disneyland, and how much should we budget for Disney World? That is a really good question. I've done everything from, like I said before, super cheap kind of thing. I've done elaborate. I've gone all out. I've done everything just to kind of see what is best for our family, what we like more, what's worth it, what's not worth it. So we've done a Disneyland trip for I think around $1,000. That was for I think 3 or 4 days, park hopper, and that was for a family suite at the Staybridge, I believe, and that includes tickets too. So that's a pretty decent amount for just the stay and the tickets. Obviously, food is going to be a big cost depending on how you do it. So we've done that. We've also done the Disney hotels, which has been anywhere, I think they're around $2,000. So, I mean, obviously that's a big difference, but there are a lot of benefits if you do stay at a Disney hotel. And actually, I did another video about Disney. You can see a trend that I love this place, all about the reasons why you might want to stay at a Disney hotel. So if you want to check the YouTube page, you can watch that one too, and maybe it'll help you decide whether you think it's worth it for your family or not. So those should give you some costs. For Disney World, actually our Disney World trip that we did here with the discounted prices ended up actually being cheaper than Disneyland, and we got to stay for longer, which was pretty crazy. So I would definitely, if you can't afford it, obviously the airfare is more expensive, but if you could do that, Disney World that it was a lot cheaper. It was around 20, I want to say 22 or 2,300 for 5-day park hopper and the hotel, one of the deluxe resorts at Disney World. So you can see there's a huge difference, and it will go down all the way to like 15 or 1,800 for the same amount of time at a lower property. So that hopefully helps you out. Okay, we have another question from Kirsten. Kirsten, you got lots of questions for me. I love it. At Disney World, Toontown doesn't open till later. Is that the same at Disneyland? Yes, it totally is. And you're going to need to check to see what time it opens, because every day it opens at a different time, which kind of ruins planning. If you do Fantasyland the right way, sometimes you can do Fantasyland and Tomorrowland and then go back and be there right when Toontown opens. So that might be something you want to do and try that out. But yeah, it definitely does open later, so it's totally different. The other thing I wanted to talk about is being pregnant. I had a lot of people ask me questions about being pregnant. Is it possible? Can you do it? Do they kick you off rides? I have been pregnant at Disneyland, and I believe I was 6 months pregnant. I was pretty big. I'm not one of those skinny pregnant people. I was pretty big, and I was able to go on a lot of the rides. I chose not to go on certain rides because I didn't want it to jostle the baby or be damaging of any sort. But the rides that were slow and not crazy jerky or anything like that, I totally went on, and I never had anyone tell me not to be on the rides or get off them. I think it's kind of just be smart about what ride you go on. The one thing I will say though is walking at the park all day long for a few days, I had the biggest ankles. My calves were so swollen that at night I'd have to put my legs up. And I was in so much pain. So if you don't mind that, and then yeah, for sure, you can totally go to Disneyland or Disney World pregnant, and they're usually okay with it. Disney World's harder though, because the rides, they have a lot more fun rides that are roller coasters that you wouldn't be able to go on because you're pregnant. But if you're okay just going on like the not so crazy rides, then you should be totally fine. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about before I forget, that a lot of people asked me about, was meeting characters. Okay, I know everyone wants to see Elsa and Anna. I know everybody wants to see the princesses. So I'm going to talk about that. This is one of the secret things I'm going to share with you guys. Okay, secret, if you didn't know, you can ask cast members exactly where someone's going to be and at what time. This is like one of the coolest tricks I think a lot of people don't know. Every day they're given a piece of paper that will tell them exactly where Elsa's going to be at what time. So you can actually go to that area and kind of be there before there's a line forming once they come out. Case in point, okay, last year we went to California Adventures, and we asked one of them, is Sophia the first supposed to come out over here sometime soon? And he said, actually, Sophia the first is going to come out right there at that, and she's going to stand at that door. And we just thought, are you serious? He's like, oh yeah, totally serious. So we went and we stood there. He's like, she'll be there at 10 a.m. We stood there at 10:01, actually. She came out and saw that we were already in line, and there were a few people behind us who probably already had asked the cast members the same thing. And we were the first ones this year, got to see her, spend time, and we were out. So we didn't have to wait in line, so ask cast members. If they don't know, they will tell you which cast member has the list, and they will tell you exactly where the character is and at what time. I'm sure there are a lot of things for Disney World that I don't know about cast members, so if you know, make sure that you leave a comment on the actual YouTube video so other people can share helpful hints with each other. That would be really awesome. And the other thing I want to share with you guys about characters is in Disneyland they have a brand new Fantasy Fair area to the left of the castle. As when you're walking in. It's totally brand new. Princesses are there all day long. To be honest, it's quite hectic. They have a show with Flynn and Rapunzel that you can watch, and they have certain times of the day. Here's your other secret tip. When you go and watch that show, when it's over, everyone leaves in this special area. Do not leave. If you stay there, about 10 minutes later, Rapunzel and Flynn will come out and meet anyone who's still there. You can take some time with them. It's pretty cool. And anyone who's actually left the arena is not allowed to come back in to meet them. So if you just stay there, they will come out and they will meet your kids. And that's one of the only times I think we've ever actually met them. So it's kind of a secret way to get to see them, and you don't really have to stand in a line. So that's another cool. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about with characters is the Disney Case Visa. Okay, So if you have a Chase account, and even if you don't, you might want to open a special banking account just to get their debit card. That's it. You want to open up, not the credit card, I'm not talking about pulling credit or anything like that. I'm talking about the debit card. If you open up a Chase debit card that is a Disney debit card, basically all it is a regular debit card with a Disney picture on the front. That's all it is, and it's just a regular checking account. You can actually use that to get special meet and greets with characters at both Disney World and Disneyland, and it is so cool. So, so cool. Last year we went. The place in Disneyland is behind the House of Cards. It's over by the Monsters, Inc. ride. There's nothing there. You have no idea what it is. Mostly people just walk past it and don't know what it is. But if you have a Disney Chase Visa card, you can walk over there. There's just a cast member standing there. You tell them that you have the Chase card. You show it to them, and then you can go back behind this curtain, and you get one-on-one time with a character. And you can spend as much time as you want with them. I think we had 5 minutes with Stitch, which was really cool because we've never seen Stitch at the park before, so that was awesome. And then we also spent, later that day, they have 2 people rotating, or 2 characters rotating throughout the day. We came back an hour later, and we got one-on-one time with Minnie Mouse. So those are things that you want to do. You get extras with that Disney Chase card, and if you already have Chase, just call up your bank and say you want the Disney one instead, and they'll just switch out your card, and then you get the added benefit of seeing the character without standing in line. It's pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to talk about cruises. I know a lot of people have cruise questions. Okay, Disney cruises. One of the questions I got was, is it worth it? What's the cost like? Are my little kids going to enjoy it? This is what I will say. I would definitely wait to go on a Disney cruise until they do the kids sail free promotion, which basically means that for every adult you get a kid free. I think it's actually 2 kids free for every adult. Why this is so great is because some of the cruises cost $1,000 and more per person. So if you can get that free just by paying for the adult, it helps you save a lot of money. And because if you have a little baby, we went when Rocco, I think he was only 1. We still had to pay for him anyway if we would have paid for the regular one. So having him be free really helped us save money, or we would have had to pay a lot of money just for him to go on the cruise. The Kids Sale Free promotion is the only one that I would probably book unless they do some crazy sale. We never know when it's going to happen. It kind of just pops up, and I do post about it on freebiesdeals.com when I hear about it. So if you see that, that is the time to book. It happens like once a year, if that, and they go super fast. The other thing I want to say about for the cruises is if you're able to, try to go to Disney's private island called Castaway Cay. It is really cool, really, really cool. They have their own private island. You get off the boat, you go to, there's like, right when you get off, there's like this special post office in Disney, style and detail. You can meet Donald there. You can actually mail things from Castaway Cay with like a special stamp saying that it came from there. They have 3 separate beaches on this huge island, and to get to them, you actually ride a tram, so the island's pretty big. They have an adults-only section, so any of you who are going without kids can go to that area and just be away from kids. And they have 2 other sections that are awesome. They have playgrounds and structures that are built into the ocean, so kids can go out in like wading height water and play on playgrounds and water slides and all that type of stuff. It's really cool. The beaches are beautiful, and actually, Castaway Cay was my favorite island that we went to, way better than the Bahamas, and something your kids are going to think is awesome. I had one lady ask me if it was worth for little kids to go. I will say that Devin had a lot of fun, and she was 4 when we went, but I think she would have had a lot more fun and appreciated it a lot more if she was older. So if you can take the younger kids, especially with the Kids Sell Free promotion, why not? I would totally do that. And yes, just like every other cruise, everything's included. So I would totally do that too, if you can afford it. Obviously, the flights for some of you who live on the West Coast are going to be expensive, so that is going to be your one concern. But I did find deals from where I live in Utah to Florida to do those cruises, and it worked out pretty good. Okay, deals for Disney World hotels and Disneyland hotels. This is the other question that I've gotten, and it is, this is super simple. You want to go at value season if you can. Value season, you can check on their site, and it will, on their hotel websites, it'll tell you when are value season dates and when are not. Usually value season is when kids are in school. Makes the most sense. The parks aren't as busy. They're not as crazy. So that is when I would go. For those of you doing Disney World or Disneyland, that's usually like the second week of January through February. That's end of September, which is when we're doing our Disneyland Halloween trip, which is why we got such great deals. But they're really fun times to go still. So if you can go to value season, that's what I would tell you to do to save the most money. That's when Disneyland will come out with special promotions for 20% off or 30% off. And of course, you can always stay at a good neighbor hotel or other hotels in the area that might save you some more money. You just might have to pay for a car rental and other things like that that might outweigh the cost. So I would see which one works out the best. Okay, I've been talking super fast, and I know. So hopefully you guys have gotten a good idea of Disneyland and how to save and all that kind of fun stuff. I don't think there's, oh, I have another question that I want to hurry and answer. Amanda asked, what are your thoughts on the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique at the Disneyland Resort, and is the PhotoPass service worth it? Okay, so let's talk about Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. This is like a makeover service for your little girls if you haven't heard of it. It's pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. It's something I haven't actually let my daughter do yet because it is kind of expensive, and I'm waiting until she's old enough to actually appreciate it. I think the cheapest one is about $55, and it goes up to like $150 to do it. Anything from doing their hair to their nails to makeup to face painting, things like that. I think it's cool, and I do think it's good if your daughter is going to do it. I think it's a splurge item, but I also think it'd be really fun to do if you're going to go to one of the Halloween Mickey parties, because if you are, then it's like they get to wear a costume and kind of get dressed up for the party, because at Mickey's Halloween party, you get to come in costume. So that might be one of the times you splurge on it to kind of make that day super fun. So I wouldn't say it's something you do every time for sure, because it's too much money in my opinion, but it is something that you can splurge on. Her second question is the PhotoPass service worth it? And this is another question that is going to depend on your situation with the answer I'm going to give you, because the PhotoPass service is basically, it's a card that you get from anyone who actually takes pictures for you around Disneyland or Disney World. They'll ask for your card, and they'll slide it before they take pictures of you with different characters around the park, and then they're all uploaded to this card, and then you get online when you get home, you see the pictures, and then you decide if you want to buy them. For those of you who want to just kind of be in the moment and just not worry about it and have professional people take your pictures for you, then yeah, it might be something you want to look into, or maybe you only want to pick certain pictures. That's something that you could try. I haven't actually ever paid for the PhotoPass because I take a lot of pictures on my own, and I usually get pretty good pictures on my own, so I haven't ever really been able to do that. And we usually travel with other people, so we can get our entire family and someone else can take a picture for us. If you're traveling by yourself and you don't have anyone to take a picture of you and your family, then that might be a time when you might want to consider purchasing PhotoPass. All right, we have a lot of new people that have joined, so feel free to ask any questions in the group chat if you have any. If not, then we will just keep going with all the ones you guys have already sent me. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, this is a kind of a different question that I didn't have a lot of people ask, but you might not even know it's available. I think her name is Alina. Do you think it's worth paying the extra cost for the concierge level at any of the 3 Disneyland hotels? Concierge level basically gives you better room views. It gives you special access to like an eating area up there. It gives you special access to watch the World of Color. I don't know. Maybe it's like a once every while type of thing, I guess. Is that the right way to say it? There is something pretty cool. It's another secret that I want to tell you guys about that you don't have to be a part of the concierge level in order to do. If you go up to one of the top floors, I wish I remembered what floor it is. You can ask someone there. The Grand California Hotel. You can actually go to a special viewing area. It's like a patio that has built-in speakers, and you can watch the World of Color from one of the top floors of the Grand California Resort. And it's pretty cool because if you have people in your group who are going to bed early, if you have babies, or only, you know, everyone's worn out, only half of your party wants to actually go and watch it, you can just go upstairs or go to that hotel and you can watch it from up there. Obviously, the view isn't as amazing as being right, like, up and close personal, but it's really cool to still see it from up there, and it's free, and you do not have to be a concierge level in order to get up there. So that might be something you do, and I'm not sure the concierge level is really worth it, unless you really take advantage of all the extra things that it offers. Okay. Lindsay just asked a question. We have tickets to Mickey's Halloween party at the end of the month. Yay. When you've gone in the past, do you go to the park that day too, or do you just do the party that evening? It might be too long of a day to do both. Totally agree. It is too long of a day. Mickey's Halloween party is so much fun, and your kids get to get dressed up in costume, and you cut candy, and it's just a huge party. So what I would actually recommend you do is you can go to California Adventure that day if you have like a park hopper, and do that in the morning, go back and take a nap, and then head back to the Mickey's Halloween party. Or you could maybe just hang out at your hotel, sleep in for one of the days actually, maybe go to the pool, you could go to the beach that day, and then go back, get kids dressed up in costume, and then head to the party. I definitely would not try to do like a marathon day, like first thing in the morning through all the way through Mickey's Halloween party. Your family will fall apart. There's just way too much fun, and there's just too much stimulation. So I for sure would take a break, or kind of break up your day to make sure that your kids at least get a nap, because the party goes till about midnight, and obviously you want to kind of take advantage of it and have some fun. So hopefully your kids can stay up that late if they've taken a nap. So hope that answers your question. Okay, we're running out of time, so I'm trying to find some more questions that a lot of you guys have answered. Let's see. Okay, a lot of people have asked me whether I drive to Disneyland or whether I fly. Now, this question might only pertain to Utah readers, so I'll try to talk about it fast. Since I do live in Utah, I have found a lot of hotel deals for $49 to a nonstop from Utah to LAX or one of the surrounding airports. So for our family, we pay $300 to $400, depending on who's of age at the time, to fly to Disneyland, and that's actually cheaper than us paying for gas to get there. So we usually fly, and if I can fly for less, for $100 a round trip each person, then we usually will fly because it saves us money. And those deals pop up all the time, so make sure that you're following JetBlue, you're following Southwest, and another little secret tip is if JetBlue comes out with a 1 or 2 day airfare sale, almost always Delta will automatically change their prices to match, but they won't advertise it. So if JetBlue has like a crazy deal on a flight, but they have really weird flight times, get on Delta's website, search for the same exact days that fall within the promotion time frame from JetBlue, and you will see the same prices, but better flight times. So that way you can fly Delta, get the same price, but you get to go at like a better time and not like a weird super early flight or something like that. Another thing for Utah readers is Alaska Airlines just started flying nonstop from Salt Lake to LAX, so that's another thing that you might want to try. I think our flights, we got them for like $39 one way with the promotion, and then $89 the other way. So it saves a bunch of money. Okay, hope that answers that question for you guys too. And I think that answers the majority of the question. And I just want to make sure I've covered it all. I tried to go super fast. So thank you so much for all of your questions. If you have more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will answer them as best as I can here on the YouTube video. And if you're coming on the discounted group trip to Disneyland with me in a couple weeks, so excited, please come say hi to me. Please come introduce yourself. I want to know who you are. I want to meet you guys. And if you're going to come with us to Disney World in February, I'm super excited to meet you guys too. There are spots left for the Disney World since we just offered it. So if you want to come to Disney World, I can help you guys figure out cheap airfare to get there. But it is a crazy deal, and it's actually a lower price than doing Disneyland because you get more days for the same amount of money. So anyway, if you guys want to do that, for sure let me know, and I can help you out. Okay, thanks guys. See ya.